Got Your Back Podstream is brought to you by Mr. Dirk. From casual wear to suits and formals, Mr. Dirk helps you find the perfect fit with the right look for any occasion. Step up your wardrobe at mrdirk.com. Two games in the books, the team getting set to take a little break. So this is a chance for us to take stock. Where is this group at exactly? Got two of the best in the biz to break it all down. Rob Brown and Jason Strudwick are standing by. Welcome to Got Your Back, everybody. Monday night live stream edition on this an off week for the Oilers. They got some practice time to get themselves sorted out. Some much needed rest after a tough early November schedule. As always, our show is brought to you by our title sponsor, Play Alberta. When you gamble, use your game sense. Play Alberta makes it easy to set deposit limits, time limits, and more, so you can play casino games and bet on sports safely, securely, and responsibly. Everything you need to know is at playalberta.ca. And I am coming at you from our Adrenaline Diesel studio. They now have an online store for all your diesel truck part needs. Check them out online. AdrenalinDiesel.ca is the website. Welcome to the show, folks. We got as good a team as anybody out there, so let's bring them on in. Rob Brown and Jason Strudwick getting set to go. So Struds is at his home post, but Brownie, you are away, my friend. You're enjoying some weather and some relaxation on this week off?
I am. I shoveled 4 times on Saturday. Went to an Oilers game and said, the heck with this, and I'm in Puerto Vallarta, hanging out with my mother. It was 31 degrees today. Spent some time in the beach, in a pub, in the ocean, in a pub. Had dinner in a pub, and I'm ready for the podcast. I'm ready. Let's do this.
So we got loose Brownie tonight, Struds. He was a little loosey-goosey tonight, hey?
Yeah, a friend of mine actually is down there at the same time, and they sent me a picture of Brownie down in the ocean. And I tell you, there's more material on my wallet than there is in the bathing suit he's wearing. Yeah, it's awkward. It's awkward, man.
No.
But it looks good. I guess you're going Euro down there, Brownie.
Well, you know what? All the young kids are doing it, Tal, where your bum hangs out the back. So I just got that one that just goes right up my butt. I look good in it. I mean, I got to be honest. I didn't think I could pull it off, but a lot of people downtown in Puerto Vallarta were saying, you know what? You got that, big boy. You got that. So,
big boy.
From what I could tell, those buns look hungry. They're eating that bathing suit like it's their job.
just hang on a second here. Like, we're completely joking about this, right? This is not a true story that's being told right now, right?
I have people everywhere that are keeping an eye on what Brownie's movements are right now.
Like, Brownie, you don't have weird bathing suit habits, do you? You're not wearing string stuff and small, like you're just wearing, like they hang down to your knees and they're super baggy, like every 50 whatever year old man's bathing suit should be, right?
Well, yeah, no, I'm not wearing a banana hammock. No, I am wearing a normal bathing suit. I couldn't pull it off when I was young and in shape. I certainly can't pull that off now that I'm old and not quite as in shape.
Let me answer that question. This is the image I saw when I saw this picture. It looks like a T-Rex flossing his teeth with a hockey skate lace. It's just,
it's just wrong. It's just wrong. What are your bathing suit habits, Struddy? Like, what do you sport when you take the kids to the?
Yeah, board shorts. I'm a hard rule. Nothing revealed 2 inches above the knee. I like it long, and for obvious reasons. And they're, it just, nothing has to be 2 inches from the knee is my board short. So,
all right,
covers everything.
There's a lot there. Brownie, you want to?
No, because we're going to get an R rating if I comment on exactly what you just said right now. No.
Just leave it be. Oh, goodness.
Great start, guys.
Yeah. We're off to a hopping start, folks. Brownie's juiced up. There's no game to talk about. And we're just going to be making it up. By the way, next podcast, people are asking. We've been threatening to do a poll on who the funniest one on the podcast is on the show. And I think next one, because we'll have even less to talk about when we do our Wednesday night show, and it's been 3 days of just nothing. So Wednesday night, that will be the night. I'm kind of torn too, guys, because I feel like I know I'm losing. And I feel like if I want to have any chance
you think
at
you
all,
might be in third place right now?
Third.
Oh, I'm in fourth because Zuby and Steve's going to be an option too. So I'll be in fourth, right? Like,
Well, if they're both an option, then you're fifth.
Yeah. Well, they'll be an option together because I don't think we can do 5 options on the poll. So it'll be like Zuby / Steve. They're one entity. But I feel like I want to do something dramatic to try and shoot my way up the rankings before the poll. So I've got this banger of a joke. Like, it's a good joke. I've been testing it out on some people. It's worked really well. And I'm tempted to tell it tonight as like a last-ditch attempt to not be in dead last.
What are you going to show your ball swing?
There's no performing in this joke. It's just I'm not ready.
Is it
to
a
do
knock
it yet.
knock
Maybe
joke?
I'll do it later. What's that?
If it's a knock knock joke, I'll answer.
No, it's not, Brownie. It's not a knock knock joke. It's an actual joke. Like, it's an old school joke where you have to actually tell a joke and kind of there's some performance involved. Like, it's an old school joke with a punchline.
I'm excited.
So listen, I'm not Eddie Murphy, but usually if you have to give that much preamble to a joke, it's going to go over like a lead balloon. And again,
you've already ruined it.
You do.
Oh, actually, we know what a joke like a lead balloon is like because we saw you at the Comedy Fest when you came up on stage. Do you remember that? I just flew here one. Remember that one?
Oh yeah. Strud, you got no standing at all. Hey everybody, what's going on? My arms are tired. I just flew here.
No,
people are just looking at him like, first of all, are you serious with how tight those jeans are? And second of all, what did you just say?
But that was the problem. Half the crowd, I'm like, ladies, my eyes are up here. And that was, I was thrown off by that. Like, enough.
Yeah. You were relentless that night at the UCAN event. Relentless thighs from a guy that calls himself Quadzilla from back in the day there, Brownie.
Yeah.
Paulie says Schweedy is in 5th. Schauger might be in 6th here, boys. Joke must be a banger for him to move up the ranks. You know who's definitely ahead of me is Ronnie Oceanfront. I mean, he might be in 2nd on this show.
Now he's funny.
Yeah, Ronnie's funny. All right, well, I'll keep having a few sips of my peach tea and maybe get some strength and some courage, and I'll see about telling that joke a little bit later. But for now, let's talk a little bit about the Edmonton Oilers, shall we? Brought to you by Alberta Ram Dealers is our breakdown. The Cross Canada Clear-Out continues with even bigger deals. Get up to $13,600 in total discounts on a 2024 Ram 1500 DT Laramie Crew Cab. Check it out at your local Ram dealer today. Just a fantastic looking truck that can get you where you need to go. Imagine that thing in these winter conditions too. Just be a beast on the road, get you safely everywhere you're trying to go. All right, gentlemen. Oilers are 11-9-2. For reference, they were 9-12-1 at this time last season. So, in better shape than they were. What I want to do in this first segment is just kind of run down a few different elements of their game. Their even strength play, at 5-on-5. We can talk about the power play. We can talk about the penalty kill. And if you have any players that maybe you want to put a focus on as we evaluate where they're at here through 22 games. So maybe a big picture thought, guys, without getting too specific into any one of those areas. Struds, do you think this team is roughly where it should be given the quality of the roster, or do you think they're underkicking what they're capable of to a degree here?
Oh, they're underkicking for sure. I think that this team, I've used the word, they're in a fog. And that's not to suggest they're not trying or anything, but I think they just realize how far they have to go to get back to where they want to go. And they've kind of got the old, what do they call that? The governor. Nice to meet you, governor. The governor on the the governor on the It took 10
My
minutes to
joke's
get my
gonna
first
sound
accent
great.
in. So,
Okay, I want to tell it right now. Sorry, Struds. Continue. You were saying.
So short and sweet. I think they have the governor on, and they haven't lived up to expectations. Even though there's a hole or two on the roster, I think they're underperforming. Brownie.
I think their record is underperformance. I think what we've seen over the last 16 games, because their record, what is it, 12-5-2 or something like that in their last whatever number of games. I think that's who they are. I think they're a team that will win a lot of their games, and then every once in a while they'll have an ugly one, like in against the Montreal Canadiens or a game like that, something that brings them back to earth and scares the fans. I don't think they're as good as last year's team yet, but I think what we've seen, they had a terrible start to the season, first 5-6 games. Since then, they've been pretty good. And I think that's what they are. I think they're pretty good right now. And this is a team with a record that's not bad, where Hyman and Nugent Hopkins and Arvidsson and Skinner and Bouchard and Skinner and net have all started slow, yet their record still is respectable. So I think they're pretty good, and I think the last 16 games is indicative of what kind of team they have right now.
So we know that Chris Knobloch likes to break the season down into 8-game segments. So there will be 10 and change of these 8-game segments. If you look at what they've done so far, 3-4-1. We know it was a brutal start. Not much was going right. Turned it around. Their goal, by the way, is 5 wins for every of these 8-game segments. 5-3 in their second 8-game segment. And they're in their third one right now, and they're 3-2-1. So they need a couple of wins here to get their 5 in this third 8-game segment. So we know it was a brutal start, decent push through the middle, and now, they're trying to maintain the pace that they set before. From an even strength standpoint, guys, so a couple of notes to throw around here. Chris Knobloch has said he feels that they're generating a good number of chances. Their expected goals are quite high. They're third in the league at 5-on-5 in expected goals, according to the natural stat trick, yet they're 15th in the league in actual goals at even strength. So quality of chances to actual execution, the number isn't necessarily there. In terms of generating offense, Brownie, Draisaitl and McDavid have woken up here, but do you think there's a lot more that can be squeezed out of the rest of this group than currently is?
You mean production-wise or chances?
Yeah, production-wise. Yeah, production.
Oh, 100% it is. Hyman's got, 3 goals on the season? Nugent Hopkins, 2. Arvidsson, 2. Podkolzin, who we all talk about how well he's been playing. He's got 1 goal on the year. Janmark has played really well and created chances for his line mates, but I think he's got 1 goal on the season or 2. Connor Brown, what's he got? 1? So yeah, I think there's a lot more to squeeze out of this group production-wise. They're getting chances that aren't going in the back of the net. Connor and Leon have been fantastic. But this is a team whose power play has been atrocious, and it's a power play that's supposed to be good. 5-on-5, they're getting chances they're not putting in the back of that. So yeah, I do believe that this is a team that has underachieved 5-on-5, because a lot of players you have expectations from haven't finished. They're getting chances, they haven't finished. I think that'll pick up here in the next 20 games. And I do believe this team, Struds, is trending in the right direction, 5-on-5. And I think eventually the production will catch up to the opportunities.
Yeah, and that's where kind of my thought is picked up. I was listening to the Bob Stauffer show, and Craig McTavish was on there, and he talked about the Oilers' PDO and how it's pretty low. And that, he said, by the metric PDO, some people talk about it, a lot of it is luck. And listen, I'm not disagreeing with him. I understand there is an element of luck, but I do believe you create your own luck. So, why do these players and whoever it is, that Hyman, whoever, why do they have a low shooting percentage? And it's not my job to figure it out, but it's someone's job to maybe help them. Okay, what can I do to maybe kickstart that, or and because I get, Brownie, there is chance involved in scoring, but as a coach, you have to figure out, why is his shooting percentage X when has historically been this, and what do we have to do to bridge that gap?
Yeah.
No, good points. Good points.
Yeah, I think like, guys that are used to producing aren't. And I know we're talking about even strength right now. The power play will help though, as the power play gets better, Brownie, because it injects, and I'm talking more about it, it'll help the even strength play because picking up power play points helps guys with their confidence, especially guys that aren't necessarily contributing a lot at even strength. So when it gets going, everyone will feel it more of the time. The guys that are expected to do this, like Arvidsson's nowhere near offensively where he normally would be in a season like this. Nugent Hopkins, you mentioned the names before, but the power play picking it up will help the even strength numbers too.
It will, although I don't think it's going to help Arvidsson because Arvidsson doesn't get much power play time. He's on their second unit, and the second unit doesn't play. But Nugent Hopkins and a Hyman, it bleeds into their 5-on-5 play. If you go 0 for 5 on the power play and you're Hyman or Nugent Hopkins and you had chances that you didn't bury, well, now when you're 5-on-5, you're a little tighter. You might force things because the expectation is, okay, I'm supposed to be a point of player game. I'm supposed to have 54 goals. It's not coming. I don't want to say cheat, but do I force things? Do I try to create something on a 50-50 when I shouldn't? So it does bleed in your 50-50, your 5-on-5 play. I was an offensive player. I was on the power play. When my power play wasn't scoring, it 100% bled into my 5-on-5 play because now I started pressing a little bit more when I shouldn't. So Struds, I agree. I think that if the Oilers' power play gets better and starts producing, it will produce better results on their 5-on-5 as well.
And they look so, for the most part, on the power plays, they look so stagnant on their power play. There's no movement. And that's not what we've come to know of this group. I think other teams are defending them better. Brownie made the point that Bouchard's not getting shots through, so there's no chaos off of that. And I would suspect they'll take some time over this break here of games to kind of, maybe it's not on ice, but in video, look through it and say, what are we doing here? What can we do differently? Because right now it's not working, and it looks like an easy penalty kill to stop, or power play to stop right now for the penalty kill group.
For sure. And they worked on it today at practice, their power play. I took a quick look because, Struds, I know you've talked about both of you wanting to see the second unit out there a little bit more. In terms of percentage of the team's power play time that the big guns are on the ice, Bouchard, McDavid, Draisaitl, it's actually pretty similar to what it was last year. It hasn't really shifted a lot. In other words, we're not seeing percentage-wise the second unit getting more looks, even though we're pretty deep into the season here, and it has not been nearly good enough. It's in that like 75, 76% range. So it's a pretty good, as we know, pretty good chunk of the power play time. But their philosophy of just continuing to roll the big guys out there, Brownie, over and over and over again, kind of waiting for it to click back in. Is it the right philosophy long term? Or do you think when this power play is exceptional again, it has the same 5 guys on it?
Oh, I think it's going to have the same 5 guys, 100%. I do. And it's funny you say 70% of the time they're out there. Think about a couple games that the Oilers late in hockey games where it didn't matter, where they threw their second unit out. So when it's actually meaningful game time, it's more like 90%, not 75%. When this Oiler power play starts getting to where it needs to be, the elite level that it's always been at, it'll be the same 5 guys. That ain't changing. What I would do, and I've been on teams that have done it, where, you know what, you're not producing, we're starting the second unit as a message. And then it becomes, all right, the next power play, we're going to start the second unit again. It's not something you say we're going to do for games. You do it the first power play of a game. Or if the first unit, the first power play does nothing, then you do it the second power play. It's not an extended period, but it's just a message sent. And I can tell you, and we saw Leon Draisaitl this year, took a dumb penalty, got benched, sat for 3 or 4 shifts, came out, and then I think he set up a goal and then scored the game winner. Eventually the player's like, screw you. You know I should be on the ice, and I'm going to go out and show you why I should be on the ice. Force the first power play unit to play with more urgency. And the one way to do that is sending a message and have the second unit start a power play here or there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you nailed it, Brownie. I completely agree with everything you just said there.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see if we see it. Like the thing is that it's so power play specific. Because at 5-on-5 and everything else those guys are doing, I mean, you're rolling McDavid and Draisaitl out there. Not starting that power play unit is a way of illustrating you're not happy, but they're doing so much otherwise that I imagine that's a little bit hard, right? To not give them the benefit of the doubt when they're doing so much else for this team. It would be a punitive action in nature, but more punitive towards the power play and not an indictment on the rest of their game. But I don't know if in their heads they separate that. You know, but you're so much right at even strength.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That's right. I think you got to look at it like this, say, guys, you're not getting it done right now. We're just going to give you a bit of a break, put you on the shelf for a second, just to give you a different look, you know, and just try something different. And it's not that we believe in you, but right now you're not getting it done. So we're going to give someone else a chance to try to get it done. I think that's the message I'd use instead of saying you're not scoring, so you're on the second unit. And they may take it that way, but to say this is what we think is best for the team right now.
Well, I mean, how many times have we seen where the Oilers, McDavid lines out there for a minute 10 and they draw a penalty, and then he stays out there with him and Hyman and Bouchard, and they stay out there for another minute 40. So now it's been a 250 shift. Why not? Every other team in the National Hockey League will start their second unit at some time. Right now, the Oilers' first unit, there's an expectation. Like, they don't even look at the coach. Oh, power play, I'm going to go on. And they've deserved that because of what they've done. But I don't think it's really that punitive that at some point you start the second unit. I think at some point, I mean, the second unit's got some pretty good hockey players on it too. So if the first unit's, and it's not like the first unit's 30%. And even when the Oilers power play is so great, Struds has talked about the last couple of years, when they're going at 32%, still start the second unit sometimes. Give a little love to someone else on the team too. So I don't think it's a bad thing if their second unit starts. I think that sends a message two ways. A, we need more to the first power play unit. And two, you know what? We believe in the second unit too. Go get us a goal.
I don't have the stats to back this up, but would you guys agree that they're gaining the zone with the same level of ease that they have in the past? It's not that they're having trouble with their zone entries. It's not that they're disorganized getting the zone. I feel like they're getting there a lot. It's just the creativity once they're there and once they're set up. You know, they've got 9 power play goals, 27th in the league at 16%. They're 24th in the league in expected goals when on the power play. So in terms of quality of chances and the expected goals as a result, they're 24th in the league. So they're not necessarily pushing those quality opportunities out there, Struds. But would you agree that they're getting the zone, like they're spending time there?
Yeah, I think they're getting the zone, but it feels like more often than not, they're getting it with kind of at a bad spot, and then it's being iced down. Because it feels like we're seeing more get in, ice it, get in, ice it. You know, like
turnover.
It's not as because it felt like when they were rolling, they'd get such easy possession into the zone. They'd set up and they're just 5-on-4. Here we go. But now I think what teams are doing, and I think let's give credit to other teams, is that they're saying whoever gets over that blue line, let's attack them. Put pressure on them right away, because if we sit back, then they get set up. So I think the Oilers, that's one of the challenges they have. And I'd be interested to see the stats say, but that's what I recall as I watch the games, is that I think teams are being more aggressive once they get the zone and saying, if we sit back, we're going to get killed. Let's just go all out and hope that, you know, make a bad pass or mistake.
Well, last year when the Oilers played the LA Kings in the playoffs, and I said when LA penalty killed, they were incredibly passive. And I'm like, hey, that don't work. You know what? You could be aggressive, be as aggressive as you can be. They're going to beat you at some point, but if you're passive, they're going to crush you. Because if you give Connor and Leon time and space, they will find the right place. So you have to be aggressive against the Oilers' penalty kill or power play. But the other thing in Struds, I think you said it there, is I think most of the icings that have happened this year by the penalty killers have been on turnovers by the Oilers. Not just when they come into the zone, but forcing passes that aren't there. And this is a power play unit that you could go games where they don't turn the puck over, ever. Like, the only chances the opposition had was if there was a save or a deflection over the glass. They never turn the puck over. But when confidence is down a little bit and you're trying to force plays, I think you start trying to make something happen that isn't there. And that's where the Oilers right now are forcing things that are getting picked off, and it's getting iced. So that's where I think Struds is saying is they are turning the puck over more on their power play this year than any year gone. And a big part of that is I think a lack of confidence and a lack of production.
Yeah. We'll get to the stream here because there's some good comments coming in. Gomez makes the point. He feels the second unit has more trouble gaining the zone. I would probably agree with that, right? They don't have McDavid as a guarantee at that blue line. Jack, I want McDavid and Draisaitl on the ice. PP1. CK Pawn, McDavid has to go to the other side when entering the zone and drop the puck to dry. Opponents expect him to go to Nuge's side, and then Nuge bumps it back to Bouchard. So perhaps suggesting they're getting a little bit predictable. JL pointing out that the point shot up top is always getting blocked. Yeah, Evan Bouchard is getting a pile of shots blocked this year, has not been able to get it through nearly as well. Sam says it's kind of a blessing, maybe. Yeah, go ahead, Struds.
I've been thinking about this. So one thing to think about, when you're not moving around as much with the puck and the players aren't changing as much, what happens is for the forwards aren't moving too much, the defenders. So the puck goes up to them. It's easier to get in the shooting lane than when it's complete chaos because they're always chasing. Right now, I think they're more structured or able to stay in their structure more because the puck isn't moving around as quickly as we saw before. And Bouchard's getting those free looks at the net.
Sam says it's kind of a blessing, maybe. Shows them they can't rely on it, and it will come around. You're not having to win game after game after game on the strength of your power play. You're having to get more done at even strength. They've been better at even strength here lately. So when the power play comes around, guys, probably helps them out quite a bit. And Quaddy says, Nuge, not a threat. Where did that one go? Shoot, I just lost that one. Nuge is not a threat to shoot on the power play, and Hyman on the high to low play does nothing with it. So not as effective as Zach Hyman, and not a shooting threat is Nuge, says Quaddy. So some good thoughts there from people. Okay, yeah, that was really solid. The penalty kill is what it is, so we're not going to spend any time on that tonight, Struds. It just is what it is.
Why would you say that? Like, I don't even know what to respond to that. So I'm gonna, that whole little thing you said about them there, or whoever said the text about how it was like it's been so reliable and they've won games on the strength of it. I disagree. Last year they won games on the back of their penalty kill. That is what brought the momentum. And then you sent out Connor and Leon and Hyman after. So I completely disagree with that text that comes in, and I resent the fact you don't think that they're important after 7 games in a row without anything. The PK is the thing's going to turn this around, guys. Trust me. This is that they get energy from that. That's their heartbeat.
I just think we've talked enough about it. Like, Brownie, we've talked a lot about it, haven't we?
It's like just blah, 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 blah. I'm Jason Strudwick. I like penalty killing. Blah,
like, we only
blah,
have so much time. We only have so much time.
So let's just say they went game 7 in the final on the back of their penalty killing. That's the fact. That is a fact that they did that.
I'm just messing with you. Of course, we're going to talk about the penalty kill, but we're going to do it in the next segment. We're not going to do it right now. For right now, we're going to get to our Relentless player. You're a bit hard on that, buddy. Brought to you by You Can Use Services. If you're looking for laborers for your business, You Can Use Services can help. They train 18 to 25-year-olds, getting them ready, willing, and able to join the workforce. Check out their Road to Work program at www.youcan.ca. I feel, Steve-O, like maybe the stream is slowing down a little bit, or are we getting a little soupy, or are we okay for people?
It slowed down. Brownie's still crisp coming in from another country, but anyway, it'll pick back up.
All right. We'll do the best we can. Struddy, relax. We're going to talk about the kill, buddy. We'll do it in the next segment. What do you got for Relentless player?
The last 7 games, I highlighted every single kill they've had. So we're going to go over all of them over the next hour, 2 hours.
Yeah. As our stream dies and people just, good night, everyone.
They're going to want to hear it. They're going to want to hear it. Relentless player, Brandon Hagel. You throw up 5 apples in a game, especially 4 in one period, you get it. The Lightning thrashed the Avalanche 8-2, and you get 5 assists. Incredible. Kucherov had 3 points, and nobody cares. 5 assists from Hagel. That's relentless. Way to go, buddy.
Love it.
Well, there's a terrible trade by the Chicago Blackhawks. Young player. They're trying to rebuild. Let's have a really good young player, and we'll give him away for a draft pick. It's amazing that the Chicago Blackhawks are near the bottom of the standings.
All right. That was the breakdown brought to you by Alberta Ram Dealers. So there's a guy that knows he shouldn't be going to the bar, right? His wife gets mad at him when he does. He usually overdoes it a little too much. She's not a fan of it. It's a bad habit. But he finds himself at the bar anyway. And he's standing there with his buddy, and he's like, man, I did it again. I'm here at the bar. She's not going to be happy. This is going to be no good, as he's drinking and drinking. And he overdoes it again. And he gets sick and he throws up on himself. So now he's at the bar when he shouldn't be, and he's thrown up on himself. And he's like, what am I going to do here? And his buddy's like, no, buds, I got you. Okay, take this 20. I'm going to put it inside your coat pocket. You go home now. When you get home, you cop to being at the bar. Like, you admit you're at the bar, but just you didn't drink that much. You tell her someone threw up on you and that he gave you $20 for your dry cleaning. You'll be good. And he's like, buds, yeah. Right on. Okay, I'm going to go. So he pounds the rest of his beer and he walks out the door and he heads home. And he gets home and his wife is waiting for him on the porch and she's sitting there and she's pissed. And he comes walking up. He's like, hey, honey. She's like, you did this again. We have talked about this. You did this again. He's like, yeah, I was there and I was drinking a little bit. She's like, look at you. You're covered in puke. Like, he goes, no, it's not mine. It was a guy that threw up on me. And he reaches into his pocket and he goes, and he gave me money for the dry cleaning. He gave me $20 for the dry cleaning. And she's like, oh, well, what's the other 20 for? And he goes, oh, that's from the guy that shit in my pants. Come on. Steve, anything?
It was funny. It was funny.
Wow.
There was a lot of
talking about from you guys. This joke has been killing all week.
You're talking about a boy pooping his pants. I mean, that's the best you got. Like, now that's the only thing I got right now. I'm thinking of you pooping your pants. Yeah. So no,
you guys just want to win the contest. You purposely didn't laugh at my joke because you don't want me to have a chance to win the funny thing that we're gonna do.
100%. I think that joke really helped us win the contest.
No, listen, next time, let's ring a bell when you hit the punchline. Then we'll know to laugh because I wasn't sure. I was like, ding.
JL says, is this a joke or a real life experience? No, JL, that was supposed to be a joke. You know who liked that joke in the press box the other night? Cam Moon liked it. And Cam is a funny guy. So you guys are out to lunch here.
No, he's a nice guy.
He was just trying to be nice to you. He was just trying to be nice to you.
Yeah. Probably. Yeah. All right. Sometimes you got to swing for the fences. Had it been good, I might have had a chance. I wasn't going to win anyway. I'm not going to win now. It is what it is.
Schauger, let's be clear. You weren't swinging for the fences. That's like being hit by a pitch. Like there was ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, get no respect.
Right now, like right now, I feel like I'm sitting in between. Wait a sec. Where's my thumb? Which way? That way? No, that way is Jake Paul, and that way is Mike Tyson. It is over. It's over.
It's super over. It's super over. All right, that's it for the first segment. Mercifully, we're going to duck out for a commercial break. I'm going to try and gather myself. I may or may not be back for the next segment. We'll be back on Got Your Back. Thanks, guys. Thanks.
At HSE Core, we are dedicated to providing unparalleled safety compliance services to small and medium-sized businesses through our monthly health and safety program management, including managing contractor screening registries and core auditing services. Let HSE Core Services help you maintain a safe workplace for you and your valued employees. Visit us at hsecore.com.
So at Timberhouse, our guiding philosophy is naturally inspired living. We believe that through design, we can solve problems and enhance people's lives. We follow biophilic design principles in all of our builds to incorporate natural materials, natural light, to enhance all the spaces in a home. When you have your space perfectly reflect who you are and what you value, and it's made well, we think that that just leads to better living.
Oh, the stream never disappoints, and the comments are just flowing in. It's not going well for me, gentlemen. I'm not going to lie to you. It's not going well. What do we got here? I was told there was going to be jokes. I'm waiting, says Lance Kane. Pretty lame, says Blueberry's Life. Andre Desjardins just says, what? TJ says, dad joke. What else we got here? Tumbleweed says, Quaddy. Haggard Prospector says it was a solid 4 out of 10. Lance Kane says maybe the delivery was off. Now, Gomez says Struds would have laughed if he told it, which I do agree. If Struddy would have told that joke, he would have been laughing like crazy. And then there was another good one here, ripping Struds a little bit. Oh, here it is. K. Gill. Ryan, your delivery is as atrocious as Struddy's explanation of the penalty kill. So there you go.
The delivery is huge, right? Delivery is like, I can sing.
Was it that bad?
Yeah, it's.
I thought I was kind of into it. I thought I did the drunk voice a little bit. I thought I kind of felt like, man, this is going well as I was working my way through it. No,
it wasn't. Okay. It wasn't going well.
All right, time out for takeaways. Brought to you by Martin Motorsports. Black Friday sales have already started, so head on over to martinmotorsports-store.ca and start saving with daily drops on new discounted products all this week. Be sure to check back regularly for all your winter gear and accessory needs. Save in store and online all week long at Martin Motorsports. Chris Parsons from Martin. I know I'm going to hear from him. He's not going to be happy with me that joke bombed so badly right before his segment. He'll be sour at me, boys. Okay, Struds. Brownie and I are just going to go to the bathroom and grab a drink. You can just talk for 7 minutes about the penalty kill if you want. Try not to have everybody on the stream disappear in the meantime. How big a deal is this, bud?
Well, I think it's huge. I mean, I don't know what 80% of the year last year plus the playoffs. It was the heartbeat of this group. They took pride in it. There was confidence. And most importantly, after a killing, they'd send out the big line, and that big line would continue the momentum they had most often. So, I think anyone who is undervaluing the PK for this team has not been watching them for the last year and seen where they got their success from, Brownie.
Well, I agree. I talked about it last year, and I agree with you this year. The Oilers' 16-game winning streak last year was on the back of their penalty killing. Their penalty killing won them more games than their power play did. The run to this Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals, their power play was good, really good in the playoffs. But it was on the back of their penalty killing that allowed them to, they could be as physical as they wanted. They gained momentum off their kills. The opposition lost momentum. So, yeah, 100%. And right now, to me, you don't look at the Oilers' penalty killing percentage. You throw that out. What you look at is 7 straight games without giving up a goal. So it's one of those ones where you go up to the blackboard, you just clean it all off, and you say, we're starting right here. Their penalty killing has been good. It has been very, very good. And one of the big reasons that the Oilers are now putting together points and moving up in the standings.
So the penalty kill, 29th at 71%, 16 for 16 in their last 7 games played. It's been a really significant turnaround. One of the things they've done, like Ty Emberson has been engaged pretty significantly here. A lot of time out there with Matthias Ekholm. I wasn't sure what we were getting in Emberson necessarily, Struddy, but he's turned out to be a pretty useful penalty killer at times, and Ekholm is just a beast back there as well. So there have been some personnel tweaks in an effort to find something that's been working.
Well, to have Emerson, imagine you're trying to find your game, and all of a sudden you're put beside Ekholm to be the number one, generally speaking, the number one duo out there to kill penalties. That's a huge, huge thing for him, and he's done a good job. Right? He seems to have good instincts, understanding when to jump, whether he's the first jumper or someone else jumps and he follows up and follows suit. I think it's been really, really good for him, and it's ticked his ice time up a little bit. So now you have Ekholm and him, and then usually, who is it? Kulak and Nurse kind of rolling out sometimes those other guys. But I think this is an important step for Emerson. And, I think he was slotted way too high to start the season, put in the right place to go, and now he's slowly working his way up. Let's say that by then he just continues on this path of 14 to 17, 18 minutes a night. First unit PK, he gets his minutes on the third pairing, 5-on-5. I think that's a huge thing for him and the Oilers, because they traded Ceci for him. They traded Ceci, and they need this guy to be a player for this group.
Well, doesn't that sound a lot like what they had last year in Vinny Desharnais, a third pairing defensive pairing?
Yeah.
And then he plays on your first penalty killing unit, and he had success. So you know what it's like, Struds. If you are a guy that is a third or fourth line player or a third pairing defenseman, you want a role. And if you are given a role, you will block a shot with your face, because you're like, I'm not giving up these extra 4 minutes because if I'm not playing this, they'll find someone else to take my spot. So I think it's huge for Emberson. And I also, for a while there, the first unit was Nurse and Ekholm. And both are very, very good penalty killers, but one of them always had to play the offside. And when you're playing your offside, especially penalty killing, if there is a slight hesitation, it's too late. And when they've got 5 to your 4 and you're trying to get the puck out, you're trying to make a play, that slight hesitation costs you. So I think that having Ekholm with Emerson, a guy that they're both playing their proper sides. You got Nurse and Kulak. Kulak's now getting comfortable on the right side. Now you got 2 strong pairings. And I think those pairings are much more comfortable playing in the positions they're playing, because now there's no thought. Everything becomes instinctive.
Let's get to the Weiss Johnson soundbox here. Get your home holiday ready with Weiss Johnson. With any new furnace installed before Christmas, they're offering free duct cleaning. Whether your old furnace has given up or you're just looking to upgrade for a cozier holiday, they've got you covered, and your ducts too. Visit weiss-johnson.com for more details. Jingle.
Weiss Johnson, whoa.
Ryan Nugent-Hopkins talked a couple of times today, or was asked a couple of questions today about the team's penalty kill. And I don't know which one of these he is.
I think just little details for sure. We're definitely a moving kill, so you got to be on the same page. Your routes have to be good, really good, and then obviously you need the saves when they break you down, because it is going to happen at times. And I think lately all those aspects have been better. Getting to where we want to be, getting to kind of where we ended up last year, and obviously we still got work to do and we want to keep improving, but I think more reps we take with each other, the better we'll get.
How much is you guys have quite a bit of new players on the penalty kill this year compared to last? How much of a difference does that make? How much time does it take to adjust to playing with you guys on the penalty?
Yeah, definitely, for sure. It makes a difference. I think up front, you want to get to know each other, get your pairs going, and same with on the back end. I know those guys had their pairs last year, and it's changed this year, so it's. I'm sure there's an adjustment period for them, just like it is for us. So I think, like I said before, the more you play together, the more you take reps, the easier it is, the more you can just read off each other.
Real comfort level as well with Matthias Janmark and Connor Brown, just a hardworking pair, Struds, that are really helping get things going with those penalty kills each night.
Yeah, they are. And because who do they usually send out first? It's usually Nuge and is it Henrique?
I think so.
Oh,
I think so. I had it here the other day, but it's not on this list.
But they have it, they kind of have their duos set up and the guys are wheeling out there. And I do agree, having someone you play with regularly, it does make a difference, because you understand how they want to play, but also they understand how you want to play it. And then they can see when like I always liked on a penalty kill, when you could see something, they're working their way around the diamond, or the whatchamacallit there, towards up from the one guy up to the top of the umbrella, and you knew that your partner was going already. Then you'd already start sliding over, right? So you kind of were watching what was happening, knowing what your partner was going to doing. And it does make a difference. So it takes a little while to get those instincts. And I think that this group, if they continue to go like this, they'll slowly work their way. Like they're getting close to 70%. Not that that's great, but 70 is, a lot closer to 75 than 60 or 50% is, right? So they got to slowly work their way up and get that confidence back.
No, I agree. I don't look at the 70%. I look at their 100% in their last 7 games. And they're much better. They're making a difference. To me, the game was over the other night when Nurse scored shorthanded. That was it. It was 1-0. That made it 2-0. Their penalty killing unit sealed the game. So their penalty killing has gotten much, much better. And it also allows you, the one thing that the Oilers haven't been good at this year is being able to win the 2-1 hockey game. And we all know come playoff time, you got to be able to do that. If you can kill off the other team's power plays, it goes a long way in winning a low-scoring hockey game. So I think the Oilers are certainly on the right direction with their penalty killing now.
How are we feeling, Struddy? Have we given it its due? Are we feeling satisfied with the allotment of time and priority for it, or anything else?
I'm happy with what we've done. I don't think the fans understand how important it is, and I challenge them to really watch it the next little while and understand how important it is to this team. I really think it's a really, really important part of this group and their confidence level.
Mm-hmm. All right. The challenge has been issued to you, the underappreciative fan of the defensive prowess of the penalty kill. Jason Strudwick has issued the challenge. So make sure you follow up with him at him on Twitter when you get a chance on your thoughts about that. Let's get to goaltending real quick here, gentlemen. We know it hasn't been the start for Stuart Skinner that he would have wanted. It has not been great. 3.23 goals against average, 882 save percentage. The numbers on Skinner. So of the 35 goalies that have started 10 or more games so far this year, he's 32nd in goals against at 3.23, and he's 31st at save percentage with that 882. So among his peers, those who are playing quite a bit, he's not really, it just hasn't been up to snuff. Calvin Pickard's numbers better on a couple of fronts here, but certainly it's been disappointing for Skinner so far, Struds.
There's a better version of Stu Skinner out there, and I know that because we've seen it. We've seen it for long stretches. And Stu Skinner, I think now we're starting to get the catalog on him as far as the type of player he is. And it seems like Stu will go through periods of lower play than he expects himself. And then he kind of finds his way out of it, and he goes on a nice run of the play that he's expecting himself. So I believe he has not performed to the level he expects, but I don't think it's that surprising. We've seen these moments, even start last year, even in the playoffs last year against Vancouver. We saw this dip, and then he comes out of it. And I'm wondering if this break, again, is a quality time for him to kind of reset, put some time in with his goaltender coach Schwartz, and then, get on a nice run here till let's say, whatever, at least till Christmas or the New Year, Brownie.
Well, the problem is one quarter of the season isn't a dip. I mean, this is one quarter of the season. A dip is 2 or 3 games. I think both goaltenders have underperformed. I say that because we know what their bar is, because we've seen what they're capable of doing, to what Strud said. Right now, the Oilers have to score 4 goals to win hockey games when your goalie's got a 3-point-something goals against average. Neither goaltender have been as good as they need to be. And I do believe both are capable of more, and both are going to have to be better if the Oilers are going to be division champions, conference champions, or win Stanley Cups. I do not believe the way the goaltenders have played as of now is good enough for this team to be a championship team. But I do believe both goaltenders are capable. But it is, to me, I don't believe this is a dip. This has been a poor start to the season for 2 goaltenders that are much better than they've shown.
All right. Steve-O, we have not yet done the YouTube poll, right? So should we dive into that? Brought to you by DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center. Black Friday week at DeBoer's Golf Shop. Incredible deals. 50% off TaylorMade stand bags, all clothing and footwear. Save $250 off the TaylorMade QI10 driver, which I have. It's a beauty. And for just $1,000, an Alford E-Wheels electric push cart. Snag some great deals. Shop for the golfer on your holiday list or start getting ready for next season. Sale ends November 30th, helping you play better golf. 5311 99th Street in Edmonton. They got some great deals going. Steve, we're prognosticating Oiler point totals.
Indeed. So the question is, how many points will the Oilers finish with this season? So reminder, last year they ended with 104 points. So the 4 options are 80 to 89 points, 90 to 94, 95 to 99, or 100 or more.
So last year, 98 points got a team into the playoffs. This year, the pace is 89.5-ish, like it's kind of in the 90 range as of right now. Just if you look where the wild card team is in the West, it's sort of low 90s type thing. So it's clearly not as strong out West here. Do you have a sense, Brownie? You got a guess?
How many points do the Oilers have right now?
They have, give me 1 second. I will find it.
24? Is it 24?
Yeah.
I think the Oilers are going to have, that's okay. I think the Oilers are going to get 100 points.
I think they'll be at 100, eh?
Mm-hmm.
So 24 points. They're at a 545 winning percentage. So 545.
Yeah,
What do you think?
Yeah, I think they get to the triple digits. So 100, 102, whatever, somewhere in there. I think that guys, I'm telling you, this team, we saw it the year previous, losing to Vegas. The fog had to be lifted by a coach and firing. This year, there's been a fog, and they're humans. That's the way it is. It's a long march back to where they want to be, which is the playoffs. a long march.
They're on pace roughly for that 90 range, but we all believe that they're probably going to pick it up here, through the next 50 whatever games they got left. All right, that was our De Boer's poll at the tail end of Takeaways, brought to you by Martin Motorsports. We're going to change things up a little bit in this next segment. So we're going to do Brownie points and we're going to do Struddy's World, whatever order you want to do, Steve. But we're also going to get Rob Brown in, hanging around for Ask Us Anything, because you always just ask me and Struds. We want to give you a chance to ask some questions to Brownie too. So Struds and Brownie are going to do Ask Us Anything at the tail end of next segment. So if you have questions, get them in on the live stream right now. Brownie and Struds are going to change up their content for their segments coming up. They're both going to tell a joke when we come back. Or no, they're not.
At Gallery Dental, we believe in blending exceptional care with artistry to create the perfect smile for you. From routine cleanings to advanced cosmetic procedures, our team is dedicated to providing top-notch care in a relaxed and comfortable environment. With state-of-the-art technology and a passion for perfection, we ensure that every visit is a positive experience. Join the Gallery Dental family and let us help you achieve a smile that you'll love to show off. Contact us today at secolanddentistry.com.
Ready to go all in this season? Mr. Dirk's got you covered with express on-site tailoring, a wide selection of craftsman-made suits, sport coats, and casual staples for every occasion. Score big with Mr. Dirk. We've always got your back. Visit us off White Ave, south of 102nd Street, or browse online at mrdirk.com.
When you make a mistake, heads should roll. It's not right. And I'm here. Someone has to put their foot down. Now that I say it out loud, it does sound a little crazy. God, I look good.
All right, time now for Struddy's World, brought to you by Timberhouse Developments, where if you can dream it, they can make it happen. A truly customized building experience. They've got you covered. Every house is unique. Every customer's like family. See what you can dream up together. Contact timberhouse.ca. Struds?
Raphael Leroy had a hell of a start to his season. Put on waivers, picked up, back and forth. Vegas and Oilers. Finally, he ends up in Vegas. And I liked him. Big body, can shoot. I wasn't sure where he was going to fit into the Oilers lineup. Well, he's since gone, and he's been with the Vegas. Then he was put in their farm team. And thus far in the regular season of the AHL, after last year having 28 goals and 50 points in 66 games, he's struggling. In 11 games that he's played, he's had 1 goal and 2 points and a -9 rating at that point. And he's been healthy scratched, I believe, the last 2 or 3 games. So things aren't going well for Lafayette. So 2 points I'm going to make here. One, it's not always Grainer going somewhere else. Not always easier because they don't know you. They don't know always how to use you and what your best way is to be played and how to be functioned. So maybe Raphael was happy he went to Vegas, get another chance, but they also don't know you and know how you fit in, know how you function. So it's tough. The second point is, times we can be guilty of overvaluing the prospects that we get to see or we know or we've seen drafted or developed with the organization we follow. So I feel badly for Raphael Lavoie, the way his season's trending right now. And I wonder where this ends up for him because it is not good for Raphael Lavoie, former Edmonton Oilers, guys.
Well, I'm not shocked. I said this during training camp in the beginning of the season here. I think Raphael, people said he was a tweener. He's too good for the AHL. And I said at that point, he's not. He's not too good for the AHL. He is I thought maybe a slightly above average AHL hockey player. He's not an NHL hockey player. He's got a big shot. It's nice, but that's all he's got. I hope it works out for him, but I think Strudge was right earlier this year that he's going to make a lot of money over in Europe. I think the last thing you said, and we've seen it here in Edmonton many, many times, he was overvalued. I don't know if he was overvalued by the team because the team put him on waivers. I think he's overvalued by media and maybe fans. I think he is what he is. He's a big body that doesn't play physical, that has a really good hard shot when he has time. you can't, if you're a big body, you don't play physical in the NHL, you're not here. And if you got a big shot, but you can't get into the position to get it off, it's wasted. So I do hope it works out for him, but I do believe that he is a player that will eventually play in Europe, have a nice career, make lots of money, but that's what he is.
25 goals in 61 games in the A a couple seasons ago, and then 28 in 66 in Baco last season. And as you pointed out, Struds just won in the 11 games that he's got under his belt this year. I wonder, he's still a young player in that you think the ups and downs of confidence really, really affect him. And I can't imagine all that waiver stuff at the start of the year did a ton for whatever he was thinking about himself. Struds, it's not like that's a confidence boosting scenario, is it? Waiver after waiver after waiver?
Yeah, confusing for sure. Confusing, but he knows that league. It's not like he went to a league he doesn't know. So he knows that league. He understands. He's played in all those buildings before. So maybe there is an element for sure of that uncertainty, but he knows the league and he knows how to play within that league. So I don't know. I'm not happy that this is happening for him. Like, this doesn't make me feel good at all, but it's amazing. I think it's a lot about when you go somewhere else, and not that he chose this, you never know how it's going to go. And I'll give a prime example. I've rattled on him a lot. Klim Kostin. I told him to sign here. Stay here and sign. Do not go anywhere else. And he wanted to chase some money. Detroit, now San Jose. His next step, guys, it might be back in the KHL. And that's just, I've just seen it too many times to know that that's how it works.
Yeah. All right, that was Struddy's World, brought to you by Timber Hoss Developments. Steve-O, hit that happy music because it is time for Brownie Points. Brought to you by Hamel's Premium Jerky. If you need a unique idea for your team or school's next fundraiser, they can help you organize raising money, customizing a bunch of options of their world-famous jerky with over 13 flavors and that all-new jerky and pepperoni. Also got a great deal for you, $85 for 3 pounds of beef jerky. Regular 120, so it's a great deal. And free shipping across Alberta. As always, visit albertajerky.com. Brownie?
Well, I got 2 brownie points to start with for my favorite player in the National Hockey League, Ivan. Like, I am going to follow this guy's career forever. The guy's name is Ivan. Tonight he scored 2 goals in an 8-2 loss, and it was a horrible game for the Colorado Avalanche, but Ivan got 2 goals. I have heard, it's just a rumor, but I have heard his middle name is Ivan too. I think it's Ivan. Best name in the history of the National Hockey League. I've got 10 big brownie points to the city of Puerto Vallarta, where happy hour starts every day at 10 a.m. And I am so excited about that. I don't know if it starts for 10 a.m. for everybody here, but for my mother and I, 10 a.m. is when happy hour starts. So 10 brownie points for Puerto Vallarta's 10 a.m. happy hour beginning. I've got 44 brownie points to the Sea Monkey. Best margaritas I've ever had. Today, 2 days ago, I was shoveling snow. Today, I had my feet in the sand. I had the margarita. I got the big one. It was the, which one did I have? Peach today? Well, I had a few, so I'm not sure, but it was really, really good. It was so good. So the steam passion fruit? Well, it might have been passion fruit, but it was really good. So the Sea Monkey, if you're in Puerto Vallarta, you go down to the Sea Monkey, tell them Brownie sent you, and you got brownie points, and you want to use those to spend it on a margarita. I've got 31 brownie points to Puerto Vallarta because it was 31 degrees here today. It was minus 17 when I left. It's plus 31 here. So Puerto Vallarta, you get 31 brownie points. I got, in a serious note, I got 25 brownie points. It was 25 years ago today that I lost my sister in a car accident. Today, my mother and I sat in a bar. We had a brown cow. That was her favorite drink. We saluted my sister. I've missed her every day of my life since she passed away. So to Krista upstairs, I love you, thinking about you, and you are on a podcast with Struddy and Schauger, so that's pretty cool too. And I don't want to end this on a sad note, so I got 44 brownie points tonight. My mom's favorite bar is called Sticky Fingers. We went there tonight. They gave us free tequila. So to Sticky Fingers, I give you thumbs up and 44 brownie points because it finished off a wonderful day in Puerto Vallarta. There's your good day, guys. Puerto Vallarta is on my mind.
Wow. Struds, that might be the single best brownie points we've ever had, man.
It is. You know what, Brownie? And yeah, it's great. Great. They're all strong points. But I know that you've been inside drinking because you don't have any tan on your face at all.
You look very pale for a guy who spent the day in 31-degree weather.
Yeah.
Well, it was 31 outside. There was air conditioning and sticky fingers and sea monkey and Margaritaville. And we just had a little pub crawl today. But I knew I had a podcast tonight, so I was only drinking the shots and doubles.
Yeah, the 0.5s. Right on. That was fantastic, Brownie. And much love from us to you and your family. And I'm sure from everybody on the stream and everybody that loves listening to you on Ched. Much love from all of us to you and your family, my friend. That was Brownie Points brought to you by Hamel's Premium Jerky. And now special treats. Ask us anything with Rob Brown included. So I will disappear. Brownie will take over. There's a treat for everybody. And it's brought to you by BJ Electric Supplies, founded in 1976. It's a full-line distributor providing quality wholesale electrical products for use in industrial, commercial, and residential settings. Proudly owned and operated in Edmonton. Visit bjelectric.ca. Steve-O, you, Struds, Brownie, go ahead, buddy.
Okay, well, let's start with a funny one here. It's made me laugh. JL's wondering if, Struds, you wear jeans under your board shorts when you're in the ocean. Similar to your track pants.
That's a very personal question.
Okay, sorry.
But I do wear jeans, but I cut them off like Daisy Dukes, and then I put the board shorts over top. That's another. It gives the bum a little bit more prominence, right?
Gotcha. Okay, so Jeff McDonald says, "Hey guys, love the pod. Struddy is the funniest." Oh, early opinion coming in there. Highest shots on goal and pretty low percentage. Can you guys talk about how much they are telegraphing and how to change that? Brownie.
I don't think it's being telegraphed. I don't think players in the National Hockey League are telegraphing their shots. I think part of it is puck luck. I think as the season moved on, after some tough games to start, I think maybe players are pressing a little bit and trying to do something different. I think they've lost the instinctiveness. Sometimes when you're successful, it's all instinctive. So the puck's on and off your stick. And we saw the Coles in goal the other day, the one time, and that's from practicing it over and over and over again. So when he got it, it was on and off his stick. But when you're struggling, sometimes you start thinking, you get the puck, you think. Anytime you hesitate, that allows the goaltender to set up and get ready. So for the players to be successful, when I was struggling, more video to watch when I was doing well, to see what I was doing well and feel good about myself, and more repetitive shots in practice so that when you get in the games, it becomes instinctive.
Okay, we got. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. I didn't score. You go ahead. I'll skip it.
Sorry, Koskinen back on the stream after a while says, personally, I've been banging the drum that we could use Mike Matheson, but he'd cost a king's ransom, so I don't expect us to get him. Love his skating, two-way game, and he makes a great breakout pass. Any thoughts, Struds?
Oh, absolutely. I'd love to have that happen. I also love to have more hair. I'd love to have arms about 1.5 inches bigger. Like, there's a lot of things I want for, but it doesn't mean it's going to happen. So, that would be a pricey acquisition. I still maintain Rasmus Andersson is the guy. That is the guy that fits like a glove beside Darnell Nurse. But there's no way Craig Conner wants to be the guy, the gem of Calgary Flames that trades them a massive piece that could win him a Stanley Cup. So that a massive acquisition to do.
Okay. Quaddy says, may I bring up the fact that Florida's lost 6 of 7? Are they just getting to the finals hangover now and that we've had for most of the season so far? Brownie.
I just think it shows you that the league is good. And no matter where you are as a team, you're going to have a rough stretch. I think the Oilers' rough stretch was just more noticeable because it was at the beginning of the year. All teams are going to have a couple of years ago, I did a thing where I looked at the last 2 or 3 Stanley Cup champions because everyone says good teams never lose 3 in a row. And I went on, and every team in the National Hockey League had lost 3 in a row. And the 2 Stanley Cup champions had done it a couple times. Over the course of the season, you start looking at teams get sick, teams get injured, rough road trips, bad luck, bad ref, all kinds of things. At the end of the year, you look after 82 games. What's the team's record after 82 games? Because it all equals out. So the Florida Panthers, I don't know if it's the hangover. I think they might have run into a tough stretch of games. They might have had some injuries, some bad luck, some bad goaltending. But I think to me, after 82 games, that's when we start dissecting how a team season went.
Yeah, like us, I know these guys aren't going to want to hear it, but they lost Oliver Ekman-Larsson and Brandon Montour, right? 2 pretty good defensemen. So it's not easy to replace those guys that quickly.
Okay, Ro Nelson with a recommendation for the power play says power play 2 needs to switch Henrique to the side and Jeff Skinner to the front of the net. Henrique has a good shot, and Skinner says his play close to the net is better and has never relied on his shot from far out. What do you think, Brownie?
No, it's a good point, because the one thing that Skinner doesn't do, and when on the first power play, you look where McDavid and Draisaitl are. They both play make. They both can shoot, but they play make. Jeff Skinner's not a playmaker. Jeff Skinner creates opportunities for himself. So when he's where he is on the power play up high, 99% of the time he's thinking shot first. And I agree. Put him around the net, because I think that's where he is effective. His figure skating background, like I've never seen a guy that can turn all like he can in front of the net. I think he'd be very good in front of the net. And I like what Henrique can do. I think Henrique's a very smart hockey player. He can think the game very well on that spot, because the spot that where Skinner is right now, to me, that's a playmaker spot, not a shooter spot.
Okay, CK Pond says, let's give Nurse some flowers. Dude has been arguably the best defenseman on the team. He looks like he's having fun and playing with swag, and that happens to coincide when Kulak joined his side. Struds.
Well, those 2 guys might be maybe the best skating pairing in the NHL. You know, you think of Kulak and Nurse, like Makar's a great skater. Taves is a good skater, so maybe that's another one you could look at. But they skate so well. They cover so much ground. They're tall. They're long. Pretty good sticks defending. So why wouldn't he be having a good time? And he's getting some goals. So I think I think that's a really good statement, guys.
Yeah. Couple more, Steve, and then we'll wrap it.
Okay, Ro Nelson says, I wonder if Knobloch continues with this record. Stan Bowman doesn't hire his own guy like every GM seems to eventually. What do you think, Brownie?
No, I don't think we're going to see a Drew Bannister situation here.
Wow.
I think Knobloch, that's unbelievable. Knobloch is as safe as any coach in the National Hockey League right now. I don't see any chance of him moving. Totally agree.
Yeah. Good stuff. You got any more, Steve, or is that good?
Well, let's do one more from Kegel here. Kegel39 says, I've heard Ty Emberson may be signed to a longer deal around January. We have a legit D-man here. Let's lock him up now. What do you think, Struds?
Yeah, I would definitely take a look at signing him. I think that, again, I think for him, security would be important. So with security, you can bring down your cost a little bit. Look, he's Brownie made a really good point about he replaces Vinny Darnay. So Vinny's $2 million a year. I'm not suggesting Ty Emberson gets that, but what you do is you maybe lock him into something that is lower with some security. So it's a number, 900, $1 million, whatever it is. But you line him up for 2-3 years, so he has security, but also you have security of knowing a third pairing defenseman is X.
Yeah. Well, Struds, and I can just add to that, Struds, and you know it as well as I do, that when you are in the positions that we were in our career, length of contract was more important than the amount in the contract. I'd take a 3-year deal at a little less money because I had 3 years locked up. So I don't think the Oilers want to make a mistake by not signing a young defenseman at a good price before he goes somewhere else like St. Louis.
Who's showing signs that he's on the upswing. Got to read those signs and get that deal done well ahead of time. A couple more, Steve, I'll throw in here real quick. Starting over at 61, Brownie, who, as we know, made his way down to Mexico, lost his wife a few years ago. He says, I will be using Brownie points for all my drinks at Sea Monkey later this week. So starting 61, yes, you might have a chance to catch up with down there. And the Dr. Carpy saying, Rob, I feel your pain. I also lost my brother in a car accident 3.5 years ago as well. So he is feeling you, and our condolences to you as well, the Dr. Carpy. And thank you guys for sharing that stuff on the pod. We got your back, and we love you. That was Ask Us Anything, brought to you by BJ Electric Supply. Struds, or Brownie, you're on vacation. You put in a little extra shift tonight, so we really appreciate it, buddy. Thank you.
Well, no worries. I've got 11 hours till happy hours start, so I'm ready.
Try and show up on Wednesday night show with a little bit of a tan, like less beer belly, more tan. Hey, Struds, like
just any kind of color on your face would be nice.
Okay, I'm gonna put on some oil tomorrow, and I will be frying.
All right, sounds good. Brownie, thanks, buddy. Much appreciated, pal. Enjoy your time, and say hi to your mom for us.
I will do that. Night.
All right, see you, Brownie. That was Rob Brown. Time for us to take a break, but on our way to break, we are going to go to our Prospects Report, brought to you by our prospect, Ryan Reed, and by Long Shots Indoor Golf and Sports Bar. Their premium indoor golf facility is equipped with state-of-the-art TrackMan technology, perfect for golfers of all levels. If you're looking to eat, drink, play, just watch the game, whatever, that atmosphere, fully licensed kitchen and bar will not disappoint. Longshots with a Z.ca. That's Longshots with a Z.ca. Here's In the System with Ryan Reed.
A 2-goal performance from Seth Griffith wasn't enough on Sunday night to get the win, as the Bakersfield Condors fell 4-2 to the Colorado Eagles. Griffith still leads the team in points, with 13 in 15 games. Daniel D'Amato had an assist and extended his point streak to 4 games, with 2 goals and 2 assists over that span. Bakersfield has alternated wins and losses over its last 10 games and sits 6th in the Pacific Division at 7-6-3. Matthew Savoy has 4 goals and 10 points in 16 games. Next up for the Condors are the Abbotsford Canucks Tuesday night. Elsewhere, Sam O'Reilly has struggled offensively for the London Knights, having posted 1 goal and 1 assist across his last 5 games. That goal is his only goal over his last 10 games. He posted that goal and assist on Saturday. Teammate William Nicol has been bumping along at a point-per-game pace at 25 points in 25 games, including 4 goals in his last 10 games. In Barrie, Bo Akey has been efficient as of late. He has 5 points in his last 5 games and 10 points in his last 10 games. He sits at 15 points in 19 games this season. 2024 6th-round pick Dallin Wakely has 8 goals in 14 games and is on pace for 34 goals on the campaign. 2021 6th-rounder Shane Lachance is up to 13 points in 12 games for Boston University after posting 2 assists in their recent win over Merrimack College. I am Ryan Reed, and that is what's happening in the system.
Specializing in heavy-duty commercial truck powertrain repair, performance, tuning, and part sales, Adrenaline Diesel's professional team is ready to assist you with all of your needs, from the simplest oil changes to engine conversions, overhauls, and engine modifications. Featuring an all-new online parts store and machine shop to manufacture, replicate, or repair parts, visit adrenalinediesel.ca.
With over 18 years in the industry, Kelly Zaretsky and her team at Blue Summit Accounting deliver client-focused solutions and financial guidance for success in a simple and comfortable way. Whether it's for corporate or personal needs, Blue Summit Accounting can help with taxes, estate planning, financial services, bookkeeping, and more. Get in touch today. Email bluesummitacct@gmail.com or call 780-416-9662.
All right, welcome back to the show. Time now to take a couple of laps, brought to you by Acon. Over 150 years in the construction industry, they've spearheaded some of the most notable projects across the country, and they are operating proudly here in Edmonton and around Alberta. They're also hiring. They're always looking for high-quality people, so really encourage you, if you're looking for work or if you know somebody who is, go to acon.com and click on Join Our Team. You can see the wide range of jobs that they have available, looking for all kinds of skilled people, and they're a great company, so definitely check them out. Acon.com Join our team. All right, Struds, where are we going to go tonight for our laps, my friend?
Well, news that came out yesterday, I guess. The Blues shaking it up big time. Jim Montgomery was fired by the Boston Bruins just 5-6 days ago. Really good record, but off to a bad start this year. And yesterday, it was Drew Bannister, the coach of the St. Louis Blues, that was fired. And Montgomery signed a 5-year deal with them. And their GM, Armstrong, said, if this wasn't the Bannister who's doing a bad job, but a guy like Jim Montgomery doesn't come up every day. So how do you feel if you're the coach? Well, so I'm doing okay, but you're going to fire me because there's someone better than me. And poof, out the door he goes. So, yeah.
So, okay. So Doug Armstrong, basically, he said that. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. I'm going to say it for what it is.
Yeah.
But do you think because if in his mind, Struds, he felt that Bannister was doing an okay job, that it wasn't a fireable offense, the job that he had done, by saying that to the world, are you making it easier for Bannister to hit the market with a bit of a different shine on him, as opposed to if you were to have kind of BS'd a little bit and been like, we're not where we need to be and we haven't been happy with this or that? You know, like, I feel like as much as it sucks, he kind of did the right thing by just flat out admitting it. Look, I'm being a front runner here. There's someone better available. I'm going to get him, because he's not crapping on the guy on the way out the door he's going to be looking for a job right away. So did he do him a favor in that at least?
When I hear his comments, I feel like Drew Bannister was a placeholder until he found the guy.
They gave him a 2-year deal. Like, they just gave him a 2-year deal.
Right. But 2 years, I just don't think that he believed he was the guy. Right. And I do agree that Jim Montgomery is a better coach right now. Right now he is. I think I think you have a hard time arguing that. And I think that I'm guessing Armstrong feels he's made some moves. The team is, it's probably not Stanley Cup winner, but they're better. But he wants the guy that's going to guide him for the next number of years in the seat now. Today, we're in here. This is it. So if I'm on that team, it's not anyone else isn't coming in to coach the team. It's Jim. Jim is the guy now.
Yeah.
And so Jim and Armstrong are going to figure out who should be on the team and who shouldn't. And I'm not saying that there's guys who should be on that team, but you know what I'm saying? Like, this is now Armstrong. Well, I guess, and Thomas Steen is coming in here at some point, isn't he? To be the new GM at some point as well. So this is now the group. Plan. This is my coach, my leadership group are these guys now.
Boy, he's not playing nice this year, is he? Between the multiple offer sheets at the Oilers, blow out a coach, a young coach. He was the interim guy. You decided, you're going to be the guy. You give him a 2-year look-see deal, and then boom, he's gone this quickly into the season. Like, Army is not pulling any punches this year, man.
No, he's not. But I think it sends a strong message to that group, this team. Like, this is who we are. This is it. We're going to start, not that they're bad. Like, don't get me wrong. They actually had a pretty good win today, but we're going to continue. This is it. We're our leadership group, and you guys have to figure this out, or we'll figure something else out. But I feel bad for Drew Bannister because I don't know. I just don't.
The last piece of this is that Montgomery was an associate coach with the Blues before. And so, when you develop a guy and you bring him up through when you develop him, you got a pretty good coach on your hands and you lose him. Probably nice for the Blues to be able to circle back and bring a guy in that they obviously thought highly of previously and then lost out into the system when he was ready to go be a head guy. So he's back into the system here. And Blues, I believe, won tonight. We'll get to that in our scoreboard in a minute. But aggressive and certainly interesting. How about the Bruins, by the way? The last 2 coaches they've fired, I think it's a grand total of like 11 days that either of them have been unemployed. Yeah. How fast did Cassidy get hired? How fast did Montgomery just get hired here? They're firing good coaches out the door in Boston.
Yeah, that's an aggressive management group with Sweeney and then Cam Neely. They don't mess around. Okay, next up, another management group, Chris Drury. I'd say this is the first kind of real adversity he's maybe run into. And I don't even know if it's adversity, Shogger, because it's not like the team's losing. The team is not playing great, but they're in a decent spot, but it still finds themselves in a wild card spot over in the Eastern Conference. But according to Ellen Friedman of Sportsnet, he said, I'm paraphrasing here, but they're kind of looking to maybe shake things up, and that would include trading their captain Jacob Trouba. And listen, that's not a big surprise. They were trying to move him, or there was talks about him moving in the summer. But then Chris Kreider, the longest serving New York Ranger, who off to a tough start, 9 goals, 0 assists before tonight. I don't think he scored. But anyways, an emotional leader in that room, and he's been there for many years and a lot of good runs, including a trip to the final. So sounds like Chris Drury, people are saying this is maybe a warning shot to the group. It's time to get going. If not, he's going to make some moves. So I wouldn't say this is a big challenge for Drury, but I think it's a turning point or a fork in the road for him as a manager, what he does with this group.
What do you think about Kreider? He's got 9 goals this year. 39 he had last season with the Rangers. 39 goals he had last season. So 36 the year before, 52 the year before that. Like, this guy piles in goals. And I know it hasn't necessarily been a great start, but 9 is nothing to shake a stick at so far this season. And just checking his cap hit, like, he's a couple more years at $6.5 million. But if you're the Rangers and you're willing to eat even just a little bit of that, man, there's a pretty good player there that a team gets for a few years.
He had a full movement clause up till this year. Now it's a half, 15-team no movement clause, whatever. So I watched some Rangers games, and I watched the one the other night. I feel like when Kreider's at his best, he's playing with pace, driving the net, being aggressive. And I haven't seen a lot of that in recent play by him. I feel like this is more like Chris Drury playing a little bit of a game, saying, buddy, you got to get moving. Because how does Elliott get that news, right? Like, let's be honest, where's he getting that from? So I think it'd be somewhere fairly high up in Rangers management. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was leaked by someone at the very apex of that group.
Yeah. And as a reporter, I mean, I generally won't speculate on sourcing from other reporters, but it's interesting. It definitely rattles a lot around in there, in that locker room. It will reverberate. I wonder how the players will process it. And it's definitely a jolt of lightning into that room for a team that has pretty high expectations this year. I think people still feel like they're a pretty darn good team and kind of right in their window to compete. So that's 2 big names that are suddenly just floating around out there, although Trouba we have heard before. That was Taking a Lap, brought to you by our good friends over at Acon. Struds, there was lots of action around the National Hockey League tonight, and some games that certainly had a bit of meaning to the Oilers in the standings. So let's get to our scoreboard, brought to you by Canadian Club in honor of the founding year of the Canadian Club Distillery. That's 1858. Their new CC Classic 18 comes in at 58%. It is a whopper. Their highest proof Canadian Club Classic to date. It's full-bodied, though. Aromas of caramel, toffee, spicy vanilla, rich oak, and it's got a butterscotch finish that is very, very smooth. Struds, what else was going on tonight, buddy?
Yeah, tons of games, and a lot of that affect the Western Conference. We'll start with Vegas, down 3-0 to the Flyers. And they come back and win 5-4 in a shootout. So big comeback by that group, and kind of a team. And the Flyers are, they're kind of in betweeners right now, and they lose a game that should be up and winning, the 3-0. Yeah. The snap a 5-game losing streak. Although I think they had a tie or a overtime loss in there, but 5-game losing streak to the Flames. 4-3 they win to snap that thing. So the Flames had a pretty good little roll going themselves, beating the Wild and Rangers recently, and they lose 4-3 to Sens. And then the Jets 4-1 the Wild. Alex Alafalo have 2 goals tonight, and I think it was either 3-4 or 4-5 tonight for him. So those were the ones that were I think important for the Oilers tonight.
Blues 5-2 winners over the New York Rangers, which we mentioned before. A couple of assists for Dylan Holloway tonight in that game. So he seems to be punching back a little bit, right? We've seen his minutes dip. Played 16:02 tonight. 6 shot attempts, couple of assists. So Holloway continues to stay in the fight, trying to keep his minutes up, and a big win for the Blues tonight with their new head coach. All right, that was our scoreboard, brought to you by Canadian Club. Steve, why don't you jump back in here, buddy? Let's wrap up our DeBoer's YouTube poll. How did it go, bud?
Okay, so the question one more time was, how many points will the Oilers finish with this season? And a reminder, they had 104 points at the end of last season. So the most popular answer was 100 plus. So over 50% of Oilers fans think they're going to hit triple digits again. That's 52%. Next popular was 95 to 99. That's at 29%. Then down to 90 to 94 was 13%. And only 3% think that they're not going to hit 90. So somewhere between 80 and 89. So that's it.
Jay Anon chimes in and says, wow, half of you really think the Oilers are a 100-plus point team? So a little bit of skepticism there from Jay Anon. Of course, our YouTube poll brought to you by DeBoers. Time to wrap the show with our Gallery Dental play of the day. Take the first step towards a stress-free dental experience at Gallery Dental. They provide modern dentistry for today's patient with the most up-to-date dentistry, sedation, implants, and so much more. Contact GalleryDentalYEG.com. Struds, what do we got for a play of the day, buddy?
Well, it's kind of an ugly one. Colorado got blasted 8-2 by Tampa Bay. And as they're going off the ice, Miles Wood, forward for the Avs, just slams the sticks in the ground, comes flying back the half of it, and hits Jared Bednar. And Jared kind of goes down, grabs his head. That's not a way to create a lot of love between you and your coach. But listen, I mean, Jared's been around. He understands frustration. But I looked up Miles Wood. Like, he didn't really play that much tonight. He wasn't minus. It wasn't like he took a ton of minuses. So interesting. He's obviously frustrated. That team, was kind of trying to get out of second gear, it feels like.
You ever accidentally do something to a coach, hit him with a puck in practice or something like it's not a good feeling, I would imagine. I spit on my coach's cuff. It was just in midget. I was playing midget AAA, and our coach came in between periods and was just ripping into us. And of course, in the locker room, you're spitting a little bit. I spit. It got away from me right onto his pants.
Oh,
it was no good. Buddy, it wasn't good. Yeah, he didn't notice, but everybody sitting near me did. So then we're all biting on our towels, trying not to laugh.
How does it get away from you? I don't understand. Like, how far away are you shooting that thing?
Well, just like kind of out the side a little bit, unexpectedly out the side, just a little bit of a weird trajectory.
Were you missing teeth? Like, why did it come out of the side?
Right. I don't know. It just happened. What do you want? It's just a thing. It happened. You telling me you're dead? You're dead to rights with every time you spit?
Pretty accurate. Yeah, it's like you're like that Seinfeld where like it's a magic loogie where that thing was taking a left turn. It's impossible.
Canada Mike B says, Struddy met my daughter and me today. All class. Thanks, man. Boy, Struds. Yeah, changing hearts and minds out there, buddy.
Yeah, lots of fans today at the autograph session. Lots of fans of the pod. So thanks to everyone who came up and said that. We really love hearing from you, especially when you're out in public. I really appreciate it. So thank you. We all do.
I agree, buddy. I agree. Thanks, man. Good job tonight.
Likewise. Talk to you guys Wednesday, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Wednesday night.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. And a little tip for you, Struds. When the boss tells a joke, you laugh. It's kind of a rule of thumb.
Oh, boy.
I can't lie. My mom told me not to lie. That's rule number 1.
Steve, you're the only one that laughed, buddy. So you make some overtime pay tonight. Thanks, pal.
Yes. Hilarious, Shogger. Hilarious as always.
Thanks, man. And thanks to all of you for joining us on the stream. We really appreciate it. As Struddy said, we're having an absolute blast. We'll rejoin you again on Wednesday night. Oilers are going to practice tomorrow. They'll take Wednesday off, and then they'll practice Thursday and fly as they head out on their 3-game road trip. Appreciate you joining us, folks. Thanks to our title sponsor, Play Alberta. We'll talk again soon. Cheers.